The No Nonsense Roundtable. It's a weekly show broadcast on Rochester, New York's 50,000-watt iHeart radio station, News Radio Wham 1180. The host, Dom Geneva, interviews guests from all walks of life, all with amazing stories to tell. What you are about to hear is a recording of a previous broadcast with limited commercials. Now, here's host Dom Geneva.
Well, welcome everybody to another edition of your No Nonsense Roundtable. I'm Dom Geneva, your host every Saturday right here on News Radio Wham 1180. And all the past shows are on NoNonsenseRoundtable.com. And we've had like 300 of them so far. So go, enjoy. You can get those anywhere you want. And today we have a event coming up that's it's cool, it is weird, it is not weird, it is wonderful, and it is a joy to have people from the Fringe Festival here today. And I'm going to say first, welcome to Mark Costello, who is the chair of the organization, right?
Yes, yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Glad to be here. Thank you, Don.
Well, you can save that for later and see if you feel that way in the next 20 or 30 minutes. Well, you can say that. Okay. Wait to the end before you say that.
I'll withdraw the comment.
Okay.
I'll reserve.
Well, you're an
decision.
attorney. I can neither confirm nor deny that, right? Is that what you said?
Exactly. Okay. Like I said, I'll be a judge. I'll reserve the decision.
Oh, okay. And we have Erica Fee, who is the producer and CEO, and seems like, well, Erica, it looks like you're the person that does all the work.
We have a whole team. So there's a bunch of us.
Well, you're supposed to say that. I mean, yeah, okay.
No, it's not just me.
All right.
Erica used to have 8 arms. Yeah. She's hiding the other 6.
Oh, my gosh. What, you're saying she's an octopus?
Oh,
okay.
Yes.
So, Mark, tell me about yourself and how you got here and what you do and how you got involved in this or roped into it. What are you going to say? You're going to call roped into it?
No, I wasn't roped into it at all.
Okay.
I'm an attorney by training, but I have a love of the arts. I played guitar all my life, and I have a deep interest in theater and music. In 2009, I went to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, which is the original Fringe Festival. I came back to Rochester and was chairing a committee, met on film, and met a woman who said, I'm off to a festival committee right now. I said, oh, what is that? It was U of R had organized it. Asked if I could get on it, and she got me on, and I was on for a couple months. 2 months later, it was Joel Seligman, who was president of the University of Rochester, and a bunch of other people who head of arts organizations in town, such as Garth Fagan, George Eastman House, which was still the house then, not the museum, and Jiva Theater and others, and they didn't really know what they wanted the festival to be, but I really wanted there to be a Fringe Festival in Rochester after I came back from the Fringe Festival in Edinburgh. And 2 months later, Joe Seligman said, I'm bringing in this woman, Erica Fee, who's a University of Rochester alum, and she's going to talk to us at our next meeting. And she came to the meeting, and she plopped down the same Fringe guides that I had brought back from Edinburgh. And she said, we should make this a Fringe Festival. I said, I agree. That's why I was there. But that's how I got involved. That was 2009, 3 years before we put on our first festival. So we've been at this a while.
Well, there's a philosophy I came up with just lately, and they said, that there's the thing that says a journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. It's really not a first step. You have to have an idea first, and the idea has to be sparked by something. And it takes you a long time. Now, what was it like? What was the Fringe Festival when you were in Edinburgh? It was Edinburgh, you said, right?
Yeah, that's the original Fringe Festival.
Well, how big was that? Because the thing you have here is I hate to say it, it's huge. It's big. You got a big deal here.
Theirs is the largest in the world. The original Fringe Festival. Okay. Theirs runs for a full month. Erica can tell you she goes every year. But it's massive. Their guide looks like a phone book, and then they have guides for satellite venues as well that are pretty large. But what is it, 5,000 performances, Erica?
Oh! No, it's not 5,000.
7, 10, what?
60,000.
Oh, great.
Whoa! Yeah. 60,000 performances?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, how long does that go on for?
The entire month of August. I just came back from it. In terms of size for events, it's Olympics #1, World Cup #2, Edinburgh Fringe #3.
Really?
The Edinburgh Fringe Festival has gone on to birth about 250 fringe festivals worldwide. We here in Rochester are now one of the biggest in the United States. We are the biggest multidisciplinary performing arts festival in New York State.
Hard to put that on a card.
Yeah, we do it. So we are one of the largest in the U.S. and they're all independent. They've all kind of sprung up from the grassroots. Many of them work together, and there's an umbrella organization called World Fringe. But they all tend to be very reflective of their own communities. Ours here in Rochester is multidisciplinary, so it's everything from theater to comedy, music, dance, children's entertainment, and shows that can't even be classified, to be quite honest.
Well, one of the things I think is that we're talking to my audience. My audience, most of them are coming off the home repair clinic. So I mean, these are homeowners, and they're older individuals. They're not like college college students and stuff like that. And when you say the word fringe, it implies something to these people that maybe is different than you're trying to imply, because fringe didn't mean like freaky show or whatever. Fringe meant it was a performance outside of a general area or area of expertise. Mark?
Well, can I just jump in on that one? So in 1947, what happened was there was the curated Edinburgh International Festival. It's a curated theater festival. It still exists today in Scotland. It still is running right now this August, and there were 8 groups who were not invited to participate in this curated festival, and they turned up anyway in 1947 in kind of this post-war spirit with their props and their costumes and their sets, and they put on shows in pubs and and in lecture halls at the University of Edinburgh. And there was a reviewer who was trying to figure out, what do we call them? They're not part of the official program. And he nicknamed them the Festival Fringe. And but he also surmised that it couldn't happen 2 years running. It was just a coincidence. But it's actually, it did go on, and it snowballed to become much larger than the original festival, and has gone on to birth the careers of everyone in Monty Python and Ricky Gervais and Emma Thompson and Kenneth Branagh, and the list goes on and on and on. So it's a major event for the performing arts industry.
Well, and I guess that's the point I was trying to get to. It's not just like unusual things that you're presenting.
No.
It's past a number of different disciplines and whatever. So we have about a minute and a half left. Let's talk about some of the rainbow in this, some of the different things that somebody can see at the Fringe Festival that maybe just are highlights.
Yeah, so this year we have 650 performances over 12 days and about 30 venues in and around downtown Rochester. We are all fringes are a little bit different. We are a bifurcated fringe, meaning we ourselves curate some shows and then the venues curate shows. Some of our big shows this year include a show called Architects of Air. The group is called Architects of Air. The show is called Daedalum. It's a 19-room luminarium, which will be brought into Rochester. For all 12 days of the festival, it will live across the street from Eastman Theater. We also have a Spiegel tent. A Spiegel tent is a traveling music hall, inlaid oak floors, stained glass windows, mirrors. We have a brand new show in there called Cirque de Fringe Variété. It's a nightly variety comedy show. We also have The Enigmatist coming in direct from the Kennedy Center, which is a magic and puzzle show with the New York Times crossword creator, David Kwong. We have a kids show called Marcel Lucan, a game show for awful children. And
which
I picked up at Edinburgh Fringe. It was a top winner, and tons of other shows, including site-specific work, which is work that doesn't necessarily include traditional venues.
And it is September 10th through the 21st, and those are the days and times it is. And well, we didn't say the times yet, but you know what it is time for? It's time for a commercial break, and we're going to be talking to you right after this. This is Dom for my friend John McClurg. John has 2 dealerships, McClurg Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and McClurg Chevrolet, both in Perry. Hey, you don't buy a car all that often, so when you do, shouldn't you go to a place you can put your trust in? You can depend on McClurg. John's dealerships are family dealerships where people you deal with today are the people you will deal with tomorrow. No nonsense. Go visit them at McClure, ChryslerDodgeJeep.com or McClureChevrolet.com. This is Dom from my friends at Jack Greco Furniture. You drive your car, you live with your furniture. That's why Nita and I buy our furniture locally from Jack Greco. Hey, lots of old name furniture manufacturers switch to mass production, producing their furniture who knows where. Why settle for that? Jack has quality pieces made by true craftsmen, and if you need a custom piece, Jack can do that for you too. The season's upon us. Jack has quality outdoor furniture you won't find anywhere else. Go to jackgreco.com. Well, welcome back. We're speaking with a number of different people from the Rochester Fringe Festival. I have to tell you, Erica is the producer and CEO of the Fringe Festival. I mean, this has got to be an incredible operation. This is like landing on Normandy or something. I mean, my God, the logistics in this have to be. They should have had you instead of the Afghan thing that they did. I mean, we wouldn't have had the problem if you had to do if they had people like you doing the logistics on this thing.
Well,
because there's so much stuff. There's so much stuff coming in and going. My God, I mean, look at this.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't compare our logistics to the Taliban, but at times,
no,
it does feel like that.
No, I wasn't saying the Taliban knew what they were doing. I'm saying that we didn't know what we were doing, but you do know what you're doing, and that's the whole thing. So how many? Now the movie, even just the moving in and moving out for this thing, has got to be incredible.
It is. And it's a true team effort. We, unlike most festivals in this area, we are a nonprofit organization. So we have a big team that puts this on. You know, it takes the entire year to put on the Fringe, and we have about 30 venues. They are partners. They program their own spaces. They figure out their own logistics, which is fantastic. But we all work together as part of the same team, and because it's just something that we do, and we do it for the community. We do it also for artists, so the artists have platforms. But one of the wonderful experiences and attending the Fringe is that you might see something that you wouldn't see anywhere else. And so that's what's really exciting for us.
So, Mark, when you got involved with this in 2009. Now, Erica just says it's a nonprofit. So, I mean, how did you overcome that? I mean, where did the startup money come from? How did you do this?
Well, every arts organization and every artist that I've ever dealt with as an attorney has an obstacle, and the main obstacle is money. And it doesn't matter what level you're working at. If you read about major artists and making films, it's just more money and a bigger hump to overcome. Fortunately, we were our original board comprised a lot of people in town. wasn't your typical arts people. It was people who were head of organizations that had raised lots of money themselves. And my former partner, Justin Vigdor, as well, was well-known in the community, former president of the State Bar Association, knew how to raise money. And the first person he went to was an old friend of his who he knew 20 years before he came to town, that was president of the University of Rochester, who wanted to start this festival. He said, well, you got to start it in this, so University of Rochester, you got to participate. So our organization actually is a not-for-profit, but it has a specific educational purpose to it as part of our original charter, and we had to get approved by the Department of Education in the state of New York. So we have a lot of universities that participate with us. So they were the first organizations to chip in some money to seed money, if you will, to get us going.
And the Rochester Area Community Foundation too.
Yeah. Thank you for mentioning that.
So how many people attend each year?
About 100,000.
Oh, my Lord, that's amazing. Well, you don't see it because it's not all in one place. If you had 100,000 people, in a stadium someplace, I mean, you would notice, but you really don't notice this because it happens over how many days and different venues. Now you have a lot of venues that are like very unique. Like why don't you explain the Spiegel tent thing? Because I've been there quite a few times. Yeah,
so our Spiegel tent is an imported Belgian music hall. Spiegel tents became popular around the year 1900. They are all handmade. They are really incredible. You walk into a Spiegel tent, you feel like you're walking into a different world. It's oak floors, a velvet ceiling, stained glass windows, mirrors. Spiegel means mirror.
Oh, okay.
And it's a mirror tent. Sometimes people call them magic mirror tents. They're a really incredible venue. And we have one. We've had one every year since 2013. We were the first organization, a Fringe Festival in North America to bring in a Spiegel tent. And we're still the only Fringe Festival in North America to bring in a Spiegel tent.
Really?
Yeah.
They're fabulous. If you haven't been to it, you need to go. Anybody who's listening, if you haven't been inside, you need to go. Don't disregard the word tent. It is not a tent. It's like a giant tinker toy thing because you have to put it together in 3 days. It's all wood, wooden bars, carved mahogany booths. It's an incredible venue.
Well, when I go there, it kind of evokes early 20th century Europe. I mean, it seems like something that you'd walk into in like 1920 or 25. Anywhere in Europe, France or Germany, or whatever. I mean, it's wonderfully unique. And if you haven't experienced it, you have to experience it because it's it's just one of those bucket list things, I think. Now, Erica, go. You have this catalog here. The catalog is really well done, and it goes by these different categories. So I'll let you explain what this catalog is, where to get it, and so forth and so on. So
anyone listening can go to rochesterfringe.com, which is our website, and on the website we have all of our shows listed, but we also have a list of pickup locations for a physical Rochester Fringe guide, if you want this 112-page guide, which is also distributed through the Democrat and Chronicle, City Magazine, New York Times, Buffalo News, Ithaca Times, and also at all of our venues, on the campuses of our higher ed organizations. The list goes on and on. But so this festival guide is organized by genres. In the back of the guide, there's a map, of course, but it really tries to highlight and bring you into the various things that you can attend at the festival. Grabbing a festival guide is a great way. We do see that people dog ear their guides, make their own Fringe. I do think that there is a time and place for a website. Of course there is. The website's very important. You can buy all of your tickets there, but the physical guide is also fantastic. And
you just hit on something. You make your own Fringe.
Yeah.
So that's a compelling thought. Make your own Fringe.
Yeah, so we really encourage people to, of course, attend one of the headliner shows. We have Colin Jost coming in this year from Saturday Night Live. I mentioned the Spiegel Tent shows. I've mentioned Architects of Air. But we also have shows that are perhaps shows that people haven't heard of before, or they might be emerging artists, or they're out-of-town artists, or they're artists that are known in the community and are trying out new work. Often Fringe festivals focus on new work. And so we really ask people to experiment, try something different. Yes, of course, see the headliner that you know about, but the whole idea of the festival is that you can really create an evening. And so most of our shows are about an hour in length. They are short enough and affordable enough, many of which are free, by the way, so that you can afford to sample and make your own experience. So if you like comedy, you can just see comedy shows. If you like theater, you can only see theater. But you can also consider branching out to something
kind of a roll your own sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which is nice. You don't have to be pigeonholed into doing one thing or another. Now, are some of these venues dependent on the weather a lot or not?
Most of them, no. Most of them are indoor venues.
Okay.
They are, indoor spaces. We do have some outdoor spaces. We have a beautiful Spiegel Garden, Dr. Dawn F. Lipson's Spiegel Garden, as it's now called, and that is at the corner of Main Street and Gibbs Street. We do outdoor movies there. So, of course, the outdoor movies are dependent upon the weather. But generally speaking, most of our shows are under some sort of covering.
Well, we're about ready to head into the news break, but I have to tell you, I mean, this catalog that you have here, this is really great. You just pick and choose what you want. It's like it's like a pizza. Go figure out what toppings you want, and you can do anything you want, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's great to experiment. You can pick some things that you like, and then pick some things that you take a flyer on them and see if you like them.
Well, you never know who you're going to say. I saw Eddie Murphy once in a club that had like 35 people in it back in 1972, whatever. You never know. You never know. But you know one thing we do know? We're heading into news break. Well, we're going to see you after the news break. And now here's co-founder of the Rascals, inductee of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and Rochester guy Gene Cornish to say a word about his favorite team.
This is Gene Cornish of the Rascals. I'd like to think of myself as the Red Wings #1 fan. And speaking of #1, the boys are #1 in the standings right now. Here's this week's schedule.
The Red Wings are home this weekend. Friday is Hall of Fame night with fireworks. Saturday features a team photo giveaway and fireworks. Sunday is Bark in the Park Day with a leash giveaway, and kids can run the bases. For tickets, visit redwingsbaseball.com.
Well, we're back again talking with the people from the Fringe Festival. I mean, the more I learn about this, the more interesting it is, because so many facets of the, you wouldn't really call it a show, the event. And it's from September 10th to the 21st. And we have a couple of performers here. And I am going to ask Erica to introduce who we are going to be talking to.
Well, we have the wonderful Kerry Jones. She's from Bushwhacked. Kerry is an improviser. She's not just involved in Bushwhacked, though. She's also involved in dashboard dramas. And I'm sure she'll be telling you about that. And we had the honor of, we had an exchange last year with Cavan County, Ireland, and Kerry and her improvisational partner, Abby, were able to perform in Cavan County, Ireland. And then we brought a group over from Cavan to perform in Rochester. So she's represented us abroad. And then we have Jones Costello, who is just an absolutely magnificent vocalist, and he has a show called Because of You. Jones Costello sings the Tony Bennett songbook.
So Casey, let's talk first with you. I mean, I have shoes that are older than you. I mean, I'm wearing shoes that are older than you. How old are you?
Oh, well, do I have to say my real age or my Zsa Zsa Gabor age?
No, I mean, but you sing Tony Bennett.
Yes, I mean, not just Tony Bennett, but this year I'm definitely focusing my attention on Tony because I love his style. I love the Great American Songbook, and he was one of the utmost purveyors of that songbook. And after his passing, which was just about a year ago, he was just short of 97. I knew that this year I wanted, if I was going to be applying to the festival, that I wanted to apply to do a tribute to Tony Bennett because his career deserves being paid homage.
Well, the thing about Tony Bennett, and I say this about a number of different performers, like the Rascals. Some of these entertainers have woven their way into American culture. And he wove his way into American culture just as much as Sinatra has, or whatever. And I mean, I left my heart in San Francisco. I mean, that has woven its way into American culture. And paying homage to somebody like that, I mean, he lasted a long time. He was performing right up to the end there. But I guess that compels the thought. Could you give us a little Tony?
Right now? Okay.
Oh, like an a cappella Tony. Oh, yeah, a cappella Tony.
I left my heart in San Francisco. Upon the hill it calls to me. To be where little cable cars. I could go on.
No. That's very entertaining, and I'm not paying you for this performance. So,
no.
So, are you related to anybody close to you?
Is Tony related to me?
No. Your dad.
Oh, my dad.
Your dad's right there.
My dad's right here.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it was like a play on words. As you're related to anybody close to you. Yes, there's somebody. A foot away. There's somebody a foot away from you, and you're related to them. But
yes. My dad is Mark Costello, who's, as we already have established, part of the festival. But in fact, it was he who encouraged me to apply many years ago when I was still in college to the festival in its inaugural year. And that was actually my very first public performance, was the first Fringe Festival.
Yeah, and what did you do? It wasn't Tony, right?
No, back then I was wet behind the ears, so I didn't have a good idea of programming shows. And so I basically just did like Casey's Evening of Favorite Songs from the American Songbook, like, everything like Swanee to random Jeanette MacDonald songs. I mean, it was pretty random, but I got a good review. Michael Lasser actually reviewed me that year in the city newspaper, and he and I have actually been friends since then. So
that's good.
Yeah,
you're there, you're doing Gypsy Rose Lee or something or other, just something totally out of character, right?
Yeah.
Now, was that your first public performance?
Yeah, it was. Well, I mean, except for my recitals in college, where I was doing voice recitals. I have a music degree from Nazareth.
Great school for that.
Yeah, and they've even expanded it even more so in recent years. Mm-hmm. But other than my recitals there, I had no prior public experience other than that first Fringe Festival show.
Well, I tell you what, do me a favor, because we have Kerry here, and why don't you give Kerry a musical introduction?
Well, to Tony Bennett?
No, to her. I'm having you here. Introduce Kerry, but sing an introduction.
Okay, I'll sing you a song. Which one do you want to hear?
No, Kerry is on the show.
Oh, okay. I'm a little bit dense sometimes.
No, that's okay. That's okay. No,
Kerry is on the show, and she's the next guest to go.
Very good. Yes.
Casey, I'm honored.
There. You never know what you're going to get when you come to the no nonsense around. Actually, that was nonsense. So you have to have some nonsense. So, Kerry, tell me about some nonsense.
All right. Well, I am one of the duo Bushwhacked. We have been in business at Fringe. This is our 11th year. We are a comedy improvisational duo, and we specialize in immersive, very highly audience interactive experiences. We started our very first show in Fringe was in a pup tent, and we had 4 audience members and the 2 of us, and we simply improvised our way through.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I know what she's saying, but you have to understand what she's saying, okay? She's saying a pup tent. Now, a pup tent is supposed to hold, like, what, 2 people?
Well, I mean, it's a camping tent, I guess.
Well, it's a camping tent, but maybe a couple. But, I mean, to hold the performance, now, do you have to force these people to get into the tent, or they do this willingly?
No, they were very willing, surprisingly, and it really opened our eyes to what people were willing to do. And we got very creative in subsequent years. We've done different shows every single year. So we have expanded quite a bit. We have larger venue tents now. And we still keep our audience fairly small, up to about 16 audience members.
Okay, but I mean, originally in this pup tent, how many? We would have like 3 or 4 people in this pup tent.
4 audience members.
And what do you do in there?
Well, the first year it was like a camp experience, and we were camp counselors. And as the audience came into the tent, we put them through various activities. We had them create sock puppets, and then we used the sock puppets to tell the origin story of the camp and things like that, all improvised. But now we're much bigger. One year we had the Bushwhacked British Bake Off, which was a big hit. Spoof on the Great British Bake Off. Uh-huh. And this year we have Cabaret of Destiny, which we're very excited to do. It's audience interactive, but it's also quite presentational. So we're looking forward to that experience.
It sounds like you're doing the things that people come and they get their guard down. They just want to have fun and maybe. And I think you serve adult beverages at this affair, don't they?
Well, the beer tent's not far away. Yeah. But also we have a couple of events that are we call them the boozy editions. So there's a drink that comes with your drink or 2 that comes with your ticket. So those are great fun. And we really look forward to it every year. We have big fans that come back every single year.
Yeah, I'm looking at the light in your eyes. I mean, you look forward to this. You love this. I can tell by looking at your eyes. You really do. You look forward to this every year, I say.
I do love it. I'm picturing myself right now interacting with people and having a great time.
Yeah, so. That's great. That's great. Are some of these people volunteers, or they're all professional people?
As far as I
guess this is a better question for you, Mark.
Are what people volunteers?
No. I mean, as far as performers go.
Oh, the performers are
all paid performers.
The performers are paid.
Okay, all right. And with this, well, we have to pay for the show, so we're heading into another commercial break. This is Dom for my friend Jim Shelley and his Fanatics Pub and Blue Stage in Lyman, New York. Like I say, a short scoot down 390 to exit 10, make a left at the light. A couple of miles down the road, there's Fanatics Pub and Blue Stage. You can see their nightly shows by going to fanaticspub.com, but this time of the year, his patio is open for free entertainment 3 to 6 on weekends. Go! It's a great place. Hey gang, this is Dom. This section of the show is sponsored by, well, me. A couple of things here. One is now you can go to nononsenseroundtable.com and see a list of businesses that I use. They're listed under, well, businesses that I use, and I don't charge to be on that page, nor do I take endorsement fees. It's just places I can recommend. Next, if you like the idea of being a sponsor of one of the sections, it's affordable. Go to nononsenseroundtable.com and contact me there. Well, welcome back. You're listening to the No Nonsense Roundtable, and we're speaking today with the good people from the Fringe Festival. And Erica is the producer, CEO, and the main go-to person here. So let me ask you about, we were talking about adult beverages when Erica had the last segment, and yes, you do have some adult beverages there, but you also have food, right?
We do. We have both. We have adult beverages. We have cocktails. We have some specialty cocktails this year, which are going to be fantastic, including a pumpkin version. Just in time for fall. But we also have nightly food trucks, and those are kind of a rotating line of different food trucks, and that will be at the corner of Main Street and Gibbs Street, at the place that we call One Fringe Place, across from the Eastman Theater.
Well, and now the shows, do the shows all start at relatively the same time? Or is some stuff going on earlier than later? Or
they do not.
How's this work?
If you turn to the back of your festival guide here, Dom, you'll see the day-by-day schedule starting page 99. The shows start at all different times. So we really encourage people, as we said, to kind of make their own fringe. We've got food trucks there for people to grab food from in between shows. People can bop around. They're not restricted, of course, to only eating two at the Fringe itself. Our local restaurant scene always reports a very good bump in sales during the Fringe. So it's just kind of a really exciting time for the community to come together and for everyone to create these schedules where they are, okay, I've got a 6 p.m., I've got a 7 p.m., I've got a break, and now I've got to get to another show.
And the website address is?
It's rochesterfringe.com.
Oh, it's so easy. Yeah, rochesterfringe.com. So here's the other question that I have. So that it starts on 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Art of the Book Exhibit, Central Library. So there are things that are going on during the day.
There are a few things going on during the day. Most of the shows are at night, aside from on the weekends when we really go nuts and we're almost going 24 hours on the weekends.
But on the back here, the page 104, it shows you the different venues that you go to. I mean, that's here, right. Bop Shop Records, Center Stage Theater, Central Library, which is a very, which is a neat thing. Oh my Lord, look at this, 35.
Most of the venues you find are downtown.
Yeah.
We have a few like the Bop Shop and JCC. They're away from the center.
So let me ask you some crazy questions. Here's the crazy question.
We're the crazy question department.
The crazy questions department, because people like crazy things. So after all these years, what surprised you the most? I mean, and don't say, well, I'm surprised about how some people really loved it. Give me something that's gone, kind of Kind of. We were expecting this, and this other thing happened. Yeah, anything like that?
Well, we're still talking to each other, so that's
that's
bit
good.
of a surprise.
It's sort of like marriage. You haven't killed each other yet.
Yeah. So there's got to be some stories in there about either famous people that came by that were really great, people that came by and they're really terrible, or come on, come on.
You want us to dish, huh?
Yeah, cough.
I'm not going to dish. I'm saving that for my autobiography. Some of those stories, but
cough it up.
But you know what is exciting, and I think surprises all of us every year, is the programming and the assortment of shows that come in, and part of that is the way that this festival has been set up. The way that it's been set up is that we as the Fringe, I should say, the organization, are programming these. I hate to use the term headliner shows, but we're programming these select group of shows, and then the venues are curating the most of the shows. And that really leads to surprise and delight, because we are not controlling what the venues are putting in their spaces. And so as a function of the way that we've set this up, there is incredible artistic freedom. People are thinking in different ways. The venues are programming for their spaces in ways that maybe someone else wouldn't program for them, but it just leads to, and there's healthy competition as well between the venues, and that makes it kind of exciting.
Well, one of the things I really that you look at is that it seems like you go across this vast spectrum of different entertainment. I mean, you have somebody singing Tony Bennett, along with somebody, jamming 16 people into a pup tent, at the same event.
We have, it's the Ed Sullivan Show and Twilight Zone and an acid trip all rolled into one.
I like that. I like that. It should be right there, an acid trip.
Well, it's really a festival for the young to the young at heart.
Yeah.
And so we have a very wide range of attendees from all different walks of life, all different ages. But generally, those people are pretty fun, I think, and they are willing to try something new. They are interested. They're interested in the arts. They're excited by it, and so I find a commonality amongst our audiences, totally regardless of their background, that they just age. Tend to really love, their background, their age, all of those things. They just tend to be exciting people.
Yeah, the first year we did silent disco, we hand out headphones and different DJs.
Explain to people what that is, because I haven't been to that, but that sounds really cool. Silent disco.
Silent disco. We give you headphones. We have 3 DJs, and they're broadcasting on a radio frequency to the headphones, and you can switch channels. So people are dancing, and it's all quiet if you don't have headphones on, but they're dancing to different music, and all you hear are the shuffling of feet, shh, 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 and people grunting every now and then. And what I was going to say is I remember collecting, we'd take someone's driver's license when we gave them the headphones to use. And I look at the driver's licenses, and the ages were like from 18 to 82. It was all over the place.
Yeah, we were the first ones to do one in the entire region. Now they're very popular, but we were the first ones. And I remember walking out we had Mark Maron that year. You might remember Mark. And I walked out of the Eastman Theater, and I saw this line of people trying to get into the Spiegel tent, and they were probably, not a single one of them was a day under 80. And I thought, this is not the way that I've seen silent discos before, but that was rude of me, because those people rocked it out, and we had to kick them out at the end of the night.
It's like the tribute shows they said they had for the Beatles. It's not the Beatles, but it's an incredible simulation. This isn't on acid, but it's an incredible. You're not on acid, but it's an incredible simulation. This has been so much fun. So we have about a minute and a half left, believe it or not. So let's sell stuff. So tell people how to get tickets, what the tickets cost, where they are, and so forth and so on.
So we have about 650 shows. You can buy all of your tickets online now at rochesterfringe.com. You can also buy them at the venues. You can buy them at venues an hour before curtain up. We also have a main box office at the corner of Main and Gibbs. At One Fringe Place, as we call it, that sells tickets to all the shows at all the venues. So there's a variety of ways to purchase tickets, but we really encourage people to either get online or pick up a festival guide and start creating their start creating the best 12 days of the year in Rochester.
So I'm going to let you each have, because we have about 2 minutes left, I'll let each of you have like 30 seconds. So let's start with Casey. Casey, go ahead.
My show is going to be on Friday the 13th. Hopefully no bad luck there.
Okay.
Friday the 13th of September at 7 p.m. at the Rochester Music Hall of Fame downtown on Gibb Street. Tickets are $20 and they're available through all the means that Erica just mentioned.
And Kerry, when are you going to be subjecting everybody to... what you do?
Yeah, Bushwhacked has shows, and Dashboard Dramas also has shows, which I write for all through Fringe, every single day and night of Fringe. Unleashed Improv is also one of my performances, and that's a one night only at School of the Arts.
And Mark, go right ahead. You got a couple of seconds.
Yeah, I have no shows. I'm not performing, and no one would want to hear me perform when I sing Dogs Howl.
Well, you're there in case there's a trip and fall. I mean, you can just
I'll be flooding them with business cards, right?
Okay, Erica, last word.
Last word is that it's an incredible time of year. We have people that come in from outside the area to now witness this event, and we really encourage people to come downtown September 10th through the 21st.
Well, thank you ever so much for being here. This has been a delightful hour, and I'll be there, and you can jam me into any tent you want there, okay, Kerry? And thanks for coming in, and we're looking forward to a great show. Thanks again. See you next week. 10 o'clock, same place, same time.
Thanks for listening. Tune in every Saturday from 10 to 11 on News Radio Wham 1180. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll make more.